Make Easter a truly joyful celebration with these 8 delicious and easy to prepare Easter recipes brought to you by recipes.net. Chocolate Cake Pops. Start by preparing and baking the chocolate cake mix according to package instructions. Let it cool, then crumble into a large bowl. Add in the chocolate frosting and fold to combine. Cover with cling wrap, then let it chill for 2 hours or until the mixture is set. Roll the chilled mixture into 1-inch balls, then place on a baking sheet lined with wax paper. Insert a lollipop stick into each cake ball. Meanwhile, melt the baking chocolate according to package instructions. Then, coat each cake pop with the melted chocolate and decorate with sprinkles if desired. Refrigerate until the coating is set, then serve. Easter Roast. Preheat the oven to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. In a small bowl, add the onion powder, garlic powder, dried rosemary, dried oregano, dried thyme, paprika, salt, and ground black pepper. Mix to combine. In a large bowl, pour the beef broth, condensed mushroom soup, and condensed tomato soup. Whisk to combine, then set aside. Then, cut the beef chuck roast in half and prepare the twine for the beef. Slice it under the beef roast, roughly 3 centimeters from the top. Loop the 2 ends around the index and middle fingers, and once formed, insert the shorter end through the loop to form a sliding knot. Slide all the way down until it reaches the meat, then tighten by tugging at the short end. Next, cross-tie the twine over the free end and slide it under the roast. Repeat until you reach the end of the beef roast, then loop around the bottom of the roast, ending right at the start. Tightly tie a knot to hold the roast in place. Then, season the beef with a spice mixture. Poke enough holes around the beef roast using a paring knife, then place a peeled garlic clove in each hole. In a pan, add the vegetable oil and sear the trussed beef until browned on all sides. Transfer to a roasting tin and pour the soup mixture over and around the tin. Cover with foil, then braise for roughly 1.5 hours. Discard the foil and allow it to roast for another 1.5 hours. Baste frequently with the soup mixture. Then, discard the twine and serve with vegetables, mashed potatoes, and the roasting juice sauce. Baby Blue Punch. In a bowl, add the Kool-Aid iced blue raspberry lemonade, granulated sugar, and water. Stir until the sugar has dissolved. Pour 2 cups of the mixture into a container, then mix in some Sprite. Pour it into ice cube trays and place in the freezer. Let the remaining Kool-Aid mixture and Sprite chill in the refrigerator. Place the frozen cubes in a punch bowl, then pour in the remaining Kool-Aid mixture and Sprite. Stir to combine. Pour into glasses and serve with a lemon wheel slice and a sprig of mint leaves. Baked Honey Ham. Preheat the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit and wrap a roasting tray in aluminum foil. With the boneless ham on a plate, trim off its outer skin, and once the remaining fat is exposed, trim it into a hatch pattern. Wrap in foil, then transfer it to the foil wrap tray and into the oven. Roast for 30 minutes, then remove the foil. Brush the orange juice onto the roasted ham. It can also be injected around the ham. In a pot, add the orange juice, yellow onions, garlic, brown sugar, apple cider vinegar, Worcestershire sauce, grain mustard, Dijon mustard, and honey. Bring to a simmer and continue simmering for roughly 10 minutes until it reduces and turns into a glaze. Pour the glaze onto the ham and brush it to spread all over the ham. Return it back to the oven and roast for roughly 25 minutes until the glaze caramelizes and turns golden brown. Allow to rest briefly on a cooling rack before serving with the accompaniments of your choice. Slice accordingly and enjoy! Easter egg candy. Start by lining a baking pan with parchment paper. In a bowl, add the cream cheese and unsalted butter, then cream for roughly 5 to 7 minutes until light and fluffy. Add in the coconut flakes, vanilla extract, and salt, then continue creaming. Reduce the speed to low, then gradually add the powdered sugar, beating in between until incorporated. Transfer to the prepared baking sheet and spread evenly. Refrigerate for about 2 hours until firm. Once firm, lift the coconut mixture out onto the working area and cut into rectangles. Roll each piece into a ball, then flatten each slightly and shape into an egg. Place onto a lined baking sheet, leaving roughly a ½ inch space in between each coconut egg. Freeze for at least 2 hours until firm. Prepare some water for boiling, then add the dark chocolate bars or chips in a bowl on top of the boiling water. Reduce the heat to a simmer and stir until the chocolate has melted. Once melted, remove from the heat and add more dark chocolate bars or chips. Stir until melted. Dip the coconut eggs into the melted chocolate and gently brush the eggs to remove any excess chocolate. Let it stand for about 10 minutes until the chocolate is firm. Add the white chocolate chips in a bowl on top of a boiling water and stir until melted. Drizzle the melted white chocolate over the coconut eggs, then refrigerate for at least an hour until set. Serve and enjoy! Classy carrot cake. Preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, then grease 2 round cake pans with cooking spray and dust with the all-purpose flour. In a mixing bowl, sift together the all-purpose flour, baking soda, ground cinnamon, and salt. Set aside. In another bowl, add the granulated sugar, vegetable oil, and unsalted butter, then cream until fluffy. Gradually add the eggs and beat until evenly incorporated. Add in the yogurt and vanilla extract, then continue beating until incorporated. Add in the flour mixture and fold until evenly incorporated. Then, add the carrots, coconut, white chocolate chips, and walnuts. Mix to combine. Transfer into the prepared cake pan and spread evenly. Lightly tap to remove any air bubbles, then bake for 40 minutes until the sides of the cake pull away from the sides of the pan. Make the yogurt glaze by adding the unsalted butter, granulated sugar, yogurt, light corn syrup, and baking soda. Simmer for about 3 minutes, stirring frequently until fully warm and the sugar dissolves. Remove from the heat, then add in the vanilla extract. Mix to combine. Cover to keep warm and set aside. Remove the cakes from the oven and let it cool on trivets. Poke holes about surface deep on top of each cake layer, then drizzle the glaze evenly over each cake layer. Cover with cling wrap and chill until ready to use. Now make the frosting by adding the unsalted butter and cream cheese in a bowl. Mix to combine until fluffy. Gradually add in the powdered sugar, then add the lemon zest, lemon juice, and vanilla extract. Fold until the frosting is smooth. Place in a chilled area to stiffen up. Transfer and flip the cake on a cake plate and place about a cup of frosting on the center. Spread it evenly over the cake. Place a second layer on top, glaze side down, then cover the entire cake with frosting. Smoothen the sides using an offset spatula, then lightly sprinkle the walnuts on top. Press the reserved walnuts onto the sides of the cake, then serve. Mushroom potato quiche. Start by greasing a pie plate and dusting it with flour. Set aside. Then preheat the oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Roll out the pre-made pie crust, then place onto the pie plate. Trim and freeze the excess dough for future use. Then, crimp the edges and set aside. In a bowl, add the eggs, heavy cream, milk, Gruyere cheese, salt, and ground black pepper. Whisk to combine, then set aside. In a pan, add the unsalted butter, button mushrooms, red pepper, green pepper, and potatoes. Sauté briefly, then transfer onto the pie crust. Spread evenly. Pour the egg mixture, bake for 15 minutes, then lower the heat to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. Continue baking for another 40 minutes before serving. Easter Lemon Bundt Cake. Preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and grease a bundt pan with cooking spray. In a bowl, sift together the all-purpose flour, baking powder, and salt. In the bowl of a stand mixer, add the unsalted butter and granulated sugar, then cream until light and fluffy. Add in the eggs, vanilla extract, milk, orange liquor, and lemon juice. Continue creaming. Then, add in the dry ingredients and fold until smooth. Add the lemon zests and fold until combined. Pour the batter into the bundt pan, then bake for roughly 15 minutes. Once baked, leave the cake in the bundt pan to cool for roughly 10 minutes. Then, invert the cake and dot around with a skewer. Brush with the cure and set aside to absorb. Sprinkle it with powdered sugar, then serve. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell to catch more easy and tasty dishes to try at home.